Then her helicopter landed outside. The gymnasium smelled of polished wood and nostalgia, a faint echo of teenage dreams and sweaty dodgeball games. Fairy lights draped the ceiling, casting a warm glow over the crowd of 40-somethings who mingled awkwardly, clutching plastic cups of punch. Balloons in the school's colors, red and gold, bobbed above tables laden with finger sandwiches and a slightly wilted vegetable tray. A banner stretched across the far wall. Maplewood High Class of 2005 to 20-year reunion. Emma Carter stood near the edge of the room, her fingers nervously smoothing the hem of her simple white dress. It was modest, bought on clearance at a department store, the kind of outfit that didn't scream wealth or desperation. Her chestnut hair was pulled into a neat ponytail, and her face bore only a touch of mascara and lip gloss. She looked ordinary, unremarkable, the kind of woman you'd pass in a grocery store without a second glance. And that's exactly how her old classmates treated her. Emma Carter, a voice, sharp and syrupy, cut through the hum of conversation. Emma turned to see Kimberly Vance, the former cheerleading captain, striding toward her. Kimberly's blonde hair was still perfect, her designer dress hugging curves that hadn't dared soften in 2 decades. Diamonds glittered at her ears, and her smile was a blade wrapped in velvet. "Oh my gosh, it is you. I almost didn't recognize you. You look so simple." A few heads turned. A chuckle rippled through the nearby cluster of former popular kids. Kimberly's ever-present posse, still orbiting her like planets around a sun. Emma's cheeks flushed, but she forced a smile. Kimberly, you look great. Oh, you're sweet." Kimberly's laugh was a tinkling bell, designed to charm and wound. "But what have you been up to? Still living in that little trailer park? I remember you used to wear those hand-me-downs. So cute how you made it work." The words landed like a slap, and the gymnasium seemed to shrink around Emma. She felt the weight of eyes on her, the same eyes that had ignored her in high school, unless it was to mock her thrift store sweaters or the free lunches she'd quietly collected in the cafeteria. Back then, she'd been the scholarship kid, the one whose mom worked double shifts at the diner to keep the lights on, the one who never quite fit in. "I've been keeping busy," Emma said softly, her voice steady despite the knot in her chest. "How about you?" Kimberly waved a manicured hand. "Oh, married to a surgeon, 2 kids, a vacation home in Aspen. The usual." She leaned in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "But seriously, Emma, you've got to tell me, what's it like to live so humbly? I mean, no offense, but you're still so you." The posse snickered. Emma's fingers tightened around her cup, the plastic crinkling faintly. She could feel the old wounds reopening, the sting of being the outsider, the girl who was never enough. But before she could respond, a man's voice cut in. "Kimberly, still ruling the roost, huh?" It was Jake Thompson, former quarterback, now sporting a slight paunch and a Rolex. He clapped a hand on Kimberly's shoulder, but his eyes were on Emma. "Emma Carter, right? Man, you haven't changed a bit. Still got that small-town vibe." The crowd around them grew, drawn to the spectacle. Emma felt like a deer in headlights, trapped in the glare of their judgment. She wanted to shrink, to disappear, to run back to the quiet life she'd built. But something in her, something stubborn, something forged in years of struggle, kept her rooted to the spot. "Thanks, Jake," she said, her voice calm but firm. "It's nice to see you all, too." Kimberly's lips curled into a smirk. "Oh, Emma, don't be so serious. We're just catching up. Tell us, what do you do now? Waitress? Cashier? Something quaint." The word hung in the air, dripping with condescension. Emma's heart pounded, but she met Kimberly's gaze. "I work in tech," she said simply. "Tech?" Kimberly's eyebrows shot up, her tone mocking. "Like, fixing computers at Best Buy? That's adorable." The laughter was louder now, a chorus of cruelty. Emma's face burned, but she didn't flinch. She could have corrected them, could have spilled the truth right then, but she didn't. Not yet. Instead, she took a sip of her punch and said something like that. The conversation shifted, the crowd losing interest as Kimberly launched into a story about her latest charity gala. Emma slipped away, her heart racing, her mind replaying the humiliation. She stepped outside into the cool night air, the stars above Maplewood twinkling like they had when she was a kid, dreaming of a life beyond the trailer park. She pulled out her phone and typed a quick message. "I'm ready." 20 minutes later, the reunion was in full swing. A cover band played a mediocre rendition of Sweet Home Alabama, and the dance floor was crowded with tipsy alumni reliving their glory days. Kimberly held court near the punch bowl, regaling her audience with tales of her perfect life. Jake was nearby, flirting with a former prom queen who giggled too loudly. Then it happened. A low, rhythmic thrum filled the air, growing louder by the second. Heads turned. Conversations faltered. The band stopped mid-chord, the lead singer squinting toward the gymnasium's windows. Outside, the night sky was lit by the sweeping beam of a spotlight, and the unmistakable whop 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 of helicopter blades echoed through the walls. "What the hell?" Jake muttered, stepping toward the windows. The crowd followed, curiosity pulling them like a tide. The gymnasium doors burst open, and a man in a crisp black suit strode in. He was tall, with a no-nonsense air, and he scanned the room until his eyes landed on Emma, who had quietly re-entered and was standing near the back. "Ms. Carter," he said, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "Your ride is here." Every head swiveled to Emma. Her simple navy dress suddenly seemed out of place, not because it was cheap, but because it was a stark contrast to the aura of power that now surrounded her. She gave the man a small nod and stepped forward, her movements calm, almost regal. "Ms. Carter?" Kimberly's voice was shrill, her perfect composure cracking. "What's going on? Is this some kind of joke?" Emma paused, turning to face her. For the first time all night, she smiled. A real smile, one that held both warmth and steel. "No joke, Kimberly. Just my ride." The crowd parted as she walked toward the doors, the man in the suit falling into step beside her. Outside, the helicopter's blade slowed, its sleek black body gleaming under the spotlight. The words Carter Industries were emblazoned on the side in elegant silver script. The gymnasium erupted in whispers. "Carter Industries? Isn't that? No way, that's the tech giant." "Emma Carter? That Emma Carter?" Kimberly's face drained of color. Jake's jaw dropped. The former prom queen clutched her wine glass so tightly it nearly snapped. Emma didn't look back. She climbed into the helicopter, the door closing with a soft thud. The blades roared to life, and the machine lifted into the night, leaving the reunion and the stunned crowd behind. The story of Emma Carter wasn't one of overnight success or fairy tale luck. It was a story of grit, of quiet determination, of a girl who'd been knocked down again and again, but refused to stay down. Born to a single mother in a trailer park on the edge of Maplewood, Emma had known hunger, not just for food, but for respect, for a chance. Her mother, Linda, worked tirelessly, her hands rough from washing dishes, her eyes bright with dreams for her daughter. "You're smart, Emma," she'd say, tucking her in under a threadbare blanket. "You're going to be somebody." Emma believed her. She studied by flashlight when the power was cut off, aced every test, and earned a scholarship to Maplewood High. But high school was a battlefield. The rich kids mocked her clothes, her address, her existence. Kimberly Vance, with her perfect life and cruel tongue, was the worst of them. Emma learned to keep her head down, to let the insults slide, to channel her pain into her studies. College was her escape, a full ride to MIT, where she dove into computer science with a hunger that startled her professors. She coded through sleepless nights, her fingers flying over keyboards, her mind alight with ideas. By 25, she'd patented a revolutionary algorithm for data encryption. By 30, she'd founded Carter Industries, a tech empire that rivaled Silicon Valley's biggest names. Her company powered everything from national security systems to the apps on millions of smartphones. Forbes called her a quiet genius. Time named her one of the world's most influential people. But Emma never forgot Maplewood. She never forgot the trailer park, or the diner where her mom had worked, or the gymnasium where she'd been made to feel small. When the reunion invitation arrived, she'd hesitated. Why go back? Why face the people who'd hurt her? But something, maybe pride, maybe defiance, made her RSVP. She'd arrived in Maplewood quietly, driving a rental car, wearing that simple dress. She hadn't come to flaunt her wealth or rub her success in anyone's face. She'd come to see if the past still had power over her. It didn't. The helicopter landed at a private airstrip where a jet waited to take Emma back to San Francisco. She leaned back in the leather seat, the city lights fading below her. Her phone buzzed with a text from her assistant. Astra's social media is blowing up. Reunion videos are trending. Want to respond? Asterisk. Emma smiled faintly and typed, "Let them talk." Back in Maplewood, the reunion was chaos. Kimberly sat in a corner, scrolling through articles about Carter Industries, her face a mask of disbelief. Jake was on his phone, reading about Emma's net worth. Billions. More than he could fathom. The former prom queen was drunk, muttering about how she'd always been nice to Emma. She hadn't. The next day, the story spread. Local news ran a segment. Hometown hero humiliated, then revealed as tech titan. Posts went viral, with videos of the helicopter's arrival racking up millions of views. "This is the ultimate glow-up," one user wrote. From trailer park to billionaire, Emma Carter is a legend. But the real story wasn't the helicopter or the billions. It was the girl who'd walked through fire and come out stronger. The woman who'd faced her past, not with vengeance, but with grace. The daughter who'd bought her mom a house by the ocean, where Linda now gardened and laughed and never worried about bills. A week later, Emma sat in her office, a glass tower overlooking the bay. She wore jeans and a sweater, her hair still in a ponytail. On her desk was a photo of her and Linda, taken at the diner years ago, both of them smiling despite the weight of the world. Her assistant poked her head in. "You've got a call from Maplewood High. They want to name a scholarship after you." Emma laughed softly. "Tell them yes, but only if it's for kids like I was. The ones who don't fit in." As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of gold, Emma thought about the reunion. Not the mockery, not the helicopter, but the moment she'd stood her ground. She'd spent years proving herself to the world, but that night, she'd proven something to herself. She was enough. And that was worth more than all the billions in the world. Hey, if this story moved you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration. Subscribe for more tales of triumph, and let us know in the comments. What's your comeback story? We're all rooting for you.